Hi there. My name is David Batsoffen, and last week I stepped out of character, in inverted commas, to chat to a young man who was about to attempt to climb Majuba Hill, all of 1,680 meters, which in 1881 was the scene of a rather definitive battle between the Boers and the Brits. But I don't want to tell you anymore. I've asked Sam Leahy to come back and to tell me about his escapade. Sam, you're looking well. Have you recovered, sir?
Yes, just about. Yes, thank you. It
Tell
took
us,
a day or two.
Firstly, tell us what the charity was. What was the intention behind climbing it? And then take us through the day.
Well, the intention was to raise money for a charity back home called Help for Heroes. It raises money for veterans and serving soldiers, helps with psychological disorders as well as physical injuries. So yeah, it was just to raise money for that cause, really, or see if I could raise money for that cause. And yeah, I had great fun doing it.
But why did you pick Majuba Hill?
Again, I've always had an interest in the military history, and it was close by to where I am at the moment, staying with my uncle, which he keeps reminding me I'm eating all his food. But it's close by to here, so I thought I've always wanted to do it, so why not do it and raise money for a charity at the same time?
Because in 1881, when the Battle of Majuba was fought, it was Boers 1, Brits 93, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah.
And that was losses. That wasn't goal scoring at half time type of thing.
No, it's quite a route, I think.
It was, I suppose, after Spioenkop, because Spioenkop was also the most terrifying battle where no ground was won or lost. Yet I think there are 2,500 people that are buried at Spioenkop.
I've been up Spioenkop as well, and it's amazing to see the trench and how far the trench winds its way across the mountain. Yeah. And of course, it's just full of the bones of dead British soldiers now, so it's quite eerie to see.
It is. It's and I also joke, we'll get to Majuba in a moment, we're just sort of doing a circuitous route there. I also joke about the battlefields at Isandlwana and Rorke's Drift. And when we were taken around, our guide, who was a Zulu, so it gives you a whole different perspective on the battle. And I said to him, why didn't they fight closer to the N2 or N3? It's 284 kilometers off the highway. They could have made the battle a little bit closer, a little bit easier to get to the battle site. Because that was also
it would have been so much better.
Yeah, I mean that also came unstuck for the Brits that day as well. They didn't realize.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so enough of history. Let's go back to Majuba. Talk us through the day.
Okay. Sorry, a bit of a lag there, but yeah, I started off early, probably about 7:30. My uncle dropped me off just at the gates of the museum, or what was the museum, and commenced from there. So I walked up the mountain. It probably took about hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Quicker than you thought.
I took my time. I stopped a couple of times on my way. Yeah, a lot quicker than I thought. Yes.
Because when we last spoke, I think
it was a nice walk. I managed it.
We have a terrible
Sorry,
lag.
There's a bit of a lag on my side.
Yeah, there is. It's okay. This is, I suppose, people that watch Zoom chats know about these sort of things, and they've taken to be accepting of them. It's just part of the technology. Because when you and I spoke last week, you were expecting it to take you most of the day.
I was. I had no idea that it would take so. I would get up there so quickly, to be honest. But it probably took, again, about hour and a half, 2 hours. I spent about 3 hours up top having a look around, and then made my way down.
You mentioned the fact that there used to be a museum. Is that now no longer there?
When I first came out here, I first came out here in 2002, but when I came out later in 2009, we went to the museum and there was nothing left in the museum, whereas there used to be artifacts, rifles, and apparently the curator just packed up and left and took everything with him. So it's not there anymore, which is a shame.
Did you find anything, any artifacts on your walk?
The farmer said that there have been bushfires up there, and that to look out for his rake that he left up there. It's not really an artifact, but he told me to bring it back down with him, which I did. So I was walking down the mountain with a rake, which must have looked quite funny to anyone looking. But no, I didn't find anything up there. There was some old glass bottles and stuff like that. But yeah, nothing up there. Again, there have been bushfires recently, which have covered the whole mountain. So that was pretty dark up there. But
yeah. What were you expecting to find, and what did you find at the summit?
I mean, I was expecting to find the usual sort of grave sites and monument sites, and it was nice to see that they're still intact. There was one that had tumbled down, but unlike so many other Boer War battlefields I've been to and graveyards around this area, which have been desecrated and left open, most of the grave sites up there were pretty intact, and that was nice to see.
I'm hoping you came back with lots of photographs that you've posted on your various social media platforms.
I have, yes, yeah. I took rather a lot of photographs. I mean, when I got up there, it was misty. I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. It was misty and freezing cold. And I thought this isn't going to lift, and they're going to be terrible photographs. No one's going to believe I've been up there. But it did clear after about an hour or two, and it was a beautiful day in the end. But it was quite eerie up there in the mist, quite spooky.
I should imagine so. You weren't worried about sort of gravestones moving and hearing creaking of bones or something.
No, I did hear quite a few odd noises at one point, and I did do the old look over the shoulder and quicken my step a little bit. But,
so did none of your Fagaza training hold any stead for you? You didn't.
My ARH was going to kick in, but I had no rifles.
Somebody posted me a cartoon yesterday of a Madam and Eve cartoon of the neighbor with a leaf blower and Granny with a catapult. And my response was, forget catapults, I want a 4.58. That'll stop leaf blowers in their tracks.
Yeah, that'll stop anything, yeah.
Could you not claim trail walking hours for your time up and time down?
I'm not too sure, yeah. I didn't really see many sort of wild animals.
Oh, of course, you need the encounters to make it count.
Yeah, I mean, there was one wild animal when I got down, but that was just my uncle picking me up. But that was.
I would be careful, Sam. You're eating his food. You know, tonight you could be sleeping on the street.
Oh, I know. He does remind me of that quite often.
little did he know what Corona had brought, other than a virus. Have you the goals that you had for your charity? Have they been attained? Have you raised money for it?
I have. I mean, I was sort of taken back by the amount I raised, actually. Again, it's not Everest, and I'm not Sir Ranulph Fiennes or anything like that, but I set the bar at £500, just as that was the first option on the site. And it's made £583 on the Just Giving site, and another £129 on Facebook. So £712.
That's wonderful. It's really, really nice to know that people, even in these tough times when many people have lost jobs and are battling to pay bills, are still prepared to donate to charities that they believe are worthy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's wonderful to see. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's one of Prince Harry's, isn't it? Or Prince William?
I believe he's involved quite closely with it. Yes, helping the race.
Well, maybe you'll get a letter from him, saying thank you.
Possibly.
Which you can frame and
worked
hang
for
on
the
your
royal
wall.
household for about 3 years. So.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Yeah.
As what?
I worked in a shop at Windsor Castle for 4 years, 3-4 years.
Like, doing what?
Again, it was just retail, so they've got 5 shops within the castle grounds.
Oh, I see. When you said shop, I had visions of it being, repairs to carriages or motor vehicles or something like that.
I wish. It was selling pencils for Chinese tourists.
So a merchandise shop, that's what you meant.
Pretty much, yeah, souvenirs.
All right, so now you've done Majuba. What about Kilimanjaro for the same charity?
That would be wonderful. Yeah, I'd love to do something like that.
The only problem with Kili at the moment, it seems to be very expensive.
Right.
Our last climb in 2014, it was, I think, just over 40,000 rand to climb.
Wow.
Yeah, because Tanzania make a lot of money out of that. So the permits are very expensive.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that's where the majority of their tourist money comes from. You know, without Kilimanjaro, they've got the wildlife, but they don't have much else.
Yeah.
Oh, put it on your list of things to possibly do one day.
My bucket list. Yeah.
Your bucket list, yes. And do you have any other battlefields that you're considering going to?
I mean, every time I come out here, I go to Rorke's Drift and Sandawana. I'm a member of the Victorian Military Society back home, and the Die Hard Company. It's a reenactment group. And we do reenactments all over the country and across the world. We've come to South Africa 3 times now, twice.
Really?
Yeah, and worn exactly the same uniforms at exactly the same battle sites. And it's always been a passion. So I'll go back there and have a wander around.
You see, if I was the guy in charge of that, and with knowing my sense of humor, I would skew that whole thing so that the Brits won in the end.
Yeah.
At Isandwana.
Alter history. Yeah.
Yeah. To hell with history. That's what they say happened. This is what really happened on the day. This is the history from the other side. But surely, as a young man like yourself, are the other reenactors, if that's the correct term, are they your age or older?
It's various ages. I'm not too sure how old our oldest member is, and I wouldn't like to say, but probably about 65 is probably the oldest, to 70, and then the youngest we have drummers and buglers, so they start off about 14, 15. That's when I started off, when I was 14.
And seeing it's 2021 now, and you're doing reenactments, are women allowed to put on the uniform?
We have the camp followers, so the women that portray a Victorian womanhood of that time. So yeah, I don't want to put my foot in it, but cooking and camp.
Yeah, don't stereotype. Maybe there was somebody that unknowingly was a woman in uniform, but
possibly.
You never know. Sam, you have no idea how much longer you're going to be here, because you've got to either wait for a flight out, or you and I met when you were studying at NJ Moore Field Guide School. And what is the possibility of going back to work as a field guide?
I'd love to. I'd love to get a job in the industry, but I've struggled to find a job and get the visa sorted out, to be honest. That's why, unfortunately, this pandemic has been a sort of blessing and a curse at the same time, because I've got to stay here longer. As I said, I worked with Colin for 3 months and thoroughly enjoyed that. So I'd love to go back to doing something like that.
You're talking about Colin Patrick now and
yes.
the anti-poaching. Is it tough for foreigners to get permits to work in the guiding industry?
From my experience, yes, I believe it is. I mean, all the other students at NJ Moore who were studying when I was there, so the English students, Dutch, German, international students, still haven't managed to get out here for long periods of time or secure a job out here, which is a real shame. But yeah, and I think it is just the struggles with the visa permits, to be honest. And you know, you get told 5 different things from 5 different people, and it's, you know.
And now it can't be easy. And also waiting for flights back home. That must also be sort of a is it, isn't it type of situation.
Yes, I mean, I was just meant to be out here for 3 months. I've been here almost 7 months now. I got told by the plane company, the transport company, that I'll be flying back on the 15th of September. I got an email 2 weeks ago saying that was cancelled. And they don't have an answer for when the next flight will be. So either I have to pay out a lot of money to find another way out, or I just wait for the company to start up again.
That's really sad. Getting back to the charity, are you still, is the fundraising aspect still ongoing, or is that now over, seeing you've summited?
I mean, I summited, but last night I got a couple more donations, which was nice, just saying well done. So I'm going to leave it up there for a few more days, and then
Okay.
I'll probably take it down.
So if people still want to donate, where do they go, Sam?
Again, it's the website which I have here. It's quite a long, quite a long website name. So if they want to donate, they can go to my Just Giving page.
Okay.
So probably the best way of doing that is typing in the website Just Giving and then going on to Sam Leahy 21, and that should take you straight through to the
Great
page.
stuff. Sam, thank you so much for chatting to me. Well done with the climb. Well done with the raising of the money. That's even more important. And I hope you don't get a flight back, but that you find work in South Africa, and that one day when I arrive at a lodge, you'll be able to take me out on a game drive.
Well, I look forward to that meeting.
Sam, once again,
yep. David, I listened to your advice. I took up I didn't take up a coffee cup with me, but I did take up a glass jar, and I put a little message in there. So and a poem.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I'm so happy. And I'm hoping in years to come, somebody will find it and maybe publish it online, going, look what I found at the top of Majuba.
I hope so.
Great stuff. Sam Leahy, who's been chatting to me about his climb to raise money for charity up Majuba Hill. Sam, once again, thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you, David. Thanks for your time. Nice to see you again.